What's up, Coach Kyle here, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. Look back at old videos, there's a bunch of them, and if you find it especially helpful or interesting, please share the video. I'm just seeing a question on one of my Instagram photos, and I thought I'd make a good video topic. So the question was, how do I decide which shoes to wear and when? And I'm a big advocate for rotating footwear. I run in minimal shoes. I run in more traditional shoes, and I really think this is a big part on why I can run 1,500 miles in at least 1,000 miles in most pairs of shoes that I've worn, and I think it helps with my lack of injuries as well. And the reason is that variation changes where your body's peak loading is. So I'm not always taking the same foot strike every time. Different shoes, speeds, terrain, it varies up where your body is taking most of the load. And I think minimal shoes especially do a little bit for improving your strength, your foot strength as well. So my go-to shoes for a long time have been the Skora Tempo, 22 millimeters thick, so a little lower than most like thicker, heavier traditional shoes. They're zero drop, so the heel and the forefoot are the same height off the ground. But they're fairly lightweight. They're not quite racing flat light, but they're lighter than your typical, more traditional training shoe. So I'm gonna do my marathon in these. They're light. They're not heavy. They're adequately cushioned, so they're not like a racing flat, like I said. But and then this next part is fairly new. But I have a pair of Nike Lunar Glides, the 6 maybe, and I bought these. I found them at Plato's Closet. I've put maybe 50 miles in them. So they don't have much tread to begin with, but I mean they're heavier, they're more cushioned than the Tempos, and they're super, like, they're really comfortable. I would never race in them, they're just too heavy, but they're nice for when my feet are just a little tired and I just feel like having some more cushioning. You can be a little more sloppy when you have a little more cushion, and it's just a little easier on the legs, I feel. So these are usually my recovery shoes. But before I had these, I would just go with the Tempos. For my shorter workouts, we're gonna say easy and 30 to 60 minutes. I'm gonna go with usually the Skora Fit or something lighter like the Skora Core, and those range from, we'll say, like 10 to 12 millimeters in stack height, plus or minus 4 or so. So it depends if I have the insole in or out, which exact shoe model I have. But for my short runs, I actually like going with the real minimal shoes, because like I said, I think the minimal shoes go a long way towards it's almost like an extra strength workout. If you've never ran in a pair of minimal shoes and you go out and run a mile barefoot or in a pair of super minimal shoes, your calves are gonna hurt for a week. So it's definitely a strength workout. Without that cushioning, like with the Tempo and the Lunar Glides, your body just has to work a little harder. So that's why I like using the minimal type shoes for my shorter runs. It's almost like getting a little more bang for my buck out of the run, because I'm adding a little bit of a strength component to it as well. So that's kind of how I choose my shoes for the runs. Sometimes I will wear a minimal pair of shoes. So for example, these are my go-to. Basically, they're my racing flats. They're my main trainers. Sometimes, though, with a short track workout, I'll go with a pair of minimal shoes to kind of add, like I said, a little extra bang for my buck into the workout. because doing, for example, 400-meter repeats in a pair of minimal shoes is going to be more stimulation than doing them in the tempos, the more traditional shoes, because there's less cushioning there. My body, especially my calves, are going to have to work a little harder. So that's my rationale. That's my thinking with selecting running shoes for different types of runs. So as always, you keep running, and I'm going to keep coaching.